What's up, guys? Welcome to NetApp On Air. My name is Nick Howell. Thank you so much for joining us today. Excited to have everybody here. Oh my God, it's been a minute since I've had a live show, and I'm excited to have you all here with us. This is the kickoff. This is the pilot. This is the introductory episode of NetApp On Air. I've been wanting to make a show for a long time, and it really took a while to percolate the ideas and get everything out there and try and figure out exactly what format we wanted it to be. And you're going to hear more about that in the future. But today we did something, well, this week we did something pretty special, and we launched a brand new edition of the Discord community. Basically a revamp of the channel structure to streamline things a little bit, open up some new areas and those sorts of things. So we wanted to talk about that. We wanted to use this format to launch it, to invite you into the community and bring you along for the ride and really pull back the curtain and show you guys what we're thinking about and what the hell is this Discord thing, right? We're going to go over all the details of it. We're going to show you how it all works. We're going to walk you through the channel structure and our thought process about how we were going to do some of that stuff. But hey, make sure you subscribe to the channel here if you're watching on YouTube. Click that follow button on Twitch if you're watching there. And shout out to everybody watching in Discord for the watch party there. You guys can live chat as well. Leave your comments in the chat. We'll throw those up on screen. We'll ask them. Any questions or feedback you guys might have, we'll throw those up on screen and address those live right here on the show. But welcome. We're kicking it off today talking about Discord, but in the future we're going to have all kinds of good stuff like presenters and product managers and engineers from our not only NetApp staff, but some of our technology partners, some of our channel partners talking about their programs and things like that. So strap in, folks. It's going to be a fun year. It's 2023, and I'm back out here making more content. So this is going to be a weekly show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, I believe that is. Which I know is later for around the world, but hey, here's the beauty. We're live streaming it on YouTube, which means it's automatically available on demand as soon as we stop the live. So make sure you're subscribed here. Make sure you got your notifications turned on. You guys know how to do all that stuff at this point. But without further ado, I want to bring on one of my partner in Discord, as I like to call him. And we'll go over all of that stuff. Let me turn some of this stuff off. Let me check chat really quick. Oh, what's going on? We got some people in chat. Kristen, what's happening? How you? Howdy. Good to see you. Basil, the pumpin' seagull, asking, is this Discord thing a community for us NetApp admin types? That's exactly what it is, Basil. So, yes, make sure you get in there. Discord.gg/NetApp. It is a public space. We have tons of staff and engineers and everything in there for you guys to hang out, talk to, get your questions answered, and intermingle with some of your peers. And we're going to go over a lot of that stuff today. So I'm going to get my co-host, my partner in crime, my partner in Discord up here, and welcome him to the show, Mr. Drew Claybrook. Drew, how you doing, man?
Today's a good day. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
It's a big day.
Well, for those people that don't know you, you do a lot behind the scenes, and I really want to highlight some of that stuff before we really get into Discord. Tell everybody who you are, what you do here, how long you've been here, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Drew Claybrook. I've been with NetApp just over 3 years. Like last week was the 3-year mark. So, starting a new job with just like 2 months to go, and then pandemic hit. So this has been my office for the past 3 years for all intents and purposes. But I'm the community manager here at NetApp. So I'm part of our digital support team, hired to kind of reinvigorate the community as a whole. Community.netapp.com, our forums there. I work with our knowledge team, our support site team. So when things don't seem right, people tend to come to us in Discord now, among other places to report that. We'll see you on Reddit. And I'm kind of there to help connect some of the dots when things aren't quite right. But yeah, I've been working with Nick on this Discord for 18 months now, right?
Yeah, and the funny part is it started with a crazy harebrained idea. That was I want to tell kind of the origin story of it because I think it's apropos. It's fun, right? It's because when you think about Discord, I've been on Discord since 2015, since it launched. But not for work, not for enterprise, not for anything related to manufacturing vendors and that sort of thing. But Discord started as a gaming platform for communities and for people to have large gaming things. World of Warcraft, you need 25 people to do a raid in game, right? So they all have to communicate in a certain way. So I started getting the idea that about when was that? 2020 that I started the OJ one? I think something it was. Like that, I did it under the auspices of Data Center Dude, my other kind of online personality brand that I do stuff around. And I needed a place where I could hang out with my viewers, right? And that's really what it turned into, and which it's most popularly used for. What I didn't realize is that there are entire massive brands out there using this platform. And it really started around about a year later, about the end of 2020, when they introduced the community version, right? So you started having these ways that you could interact with communities, and they tried their best to paint themselves out of the corner of just gaming, right? Fortnite teenagers are hanging out, playing, and hanging out in Discord. So there's that perception that has to get, exercised in a way. So in 2021... we had been running the OJ Discord for, almost 2 years at that point. And I came to you and I had mapped out like a ridiculous amount of channels, like literally a channel for every product name. And I was like, whoa, I took it way too far, right? And at the end of the day, we came to this point. I literally asked, I believe it was you and Jason, I said, am I nuts? Am I the only one that thinks this would be a good idea? I am a little nuts, absolutely. But am I the only one that thinks this is a good idea? Where we've struggled to build sort of online engaged communities in an ongoing basis, real time, 24/7, in that sense. But I think this could be, with the movements around things like community and DevRel and all of those real time interactive. We see it happening on GitHub. We also saw a retraction of people into what I like to call hidey holes, various like hidden enterprise Slack workspaces and all of those kinds of things. And I wanted to sort of, how do we undo that but keep some of the good things, that stuff like Slack and forums and all of that. And that's Discord, folks. That's really what it is in a nutshell. And really it's about laying things out in the proper way. So Drew, when I first came to you with this, what was your perception of it? What was your initial thoughts? Do you remember?
Not exactly, but looking back on it, I was excited to see that we're trying something new. It's what I've kind of envisioned community being. I know you've heard me say this lots of times. When you look at gaming, like the Bungie communities, for example, and what they did with Destiny and how they brought people in to provide information and share with others. That's what I want community to be at NetApp. And I think we might be able to do it.
We're close.
I hope.
It feels really close.
Yeah.
It was important for me going into the shutdown of the pandemic. One of the things that I noticed really early and started doing really early before it became sort of mainstream was watch parties. I wanted a place, because what's the worst thing about attending a virtual event? Sitting there at your desk by yourself, right? So what if we could come up with a way to virtually sit in a breakout session together, or virtually sit in and watch a keynote together? Aha! Thus was born watch parties, right? So we've taken that so much further in the almost 2 years now that we've now gotten to the point where we're literally right now doing a live stream on YouTube, and there's something called an activity in Discord where it's basically a watch party of any YouTube videos, including live streams. So shout out to everybody watching in Discord. You guys are watching the new YouTube activity and viewing it that way. So not only can you watch it on YouTube, Twitch, but you can also do it there simulcast, right? And that's the beauty of it, is that you can not only do those kinds of watch parties, but you can have live text channels, right? You can have drop-in rooms where you can hang out with friends just to shoot the bull or talk about something, have one-on-ones with certain people if you like. But you can also have these new things called forums channels, which we're going to talk about today, which we finally got our hands on.
Some goodies.
It seems like we've been waiting all year for this thing to get here. I want to check chat real quick and give some shout-outs. Basil, again. What? That is the best, most unique name.
That's a new one.
He says, that's what I thought. I thought it was just a gaming chat and IRC's spiritual successor. The latter, absolutely. There is an element of it that is a spiritual successor to IRC, but with some more aesthetic graphical elements than a Freenode chat room. Yeah, absolutely. But it is still a gaming platform. I don't want to say a platform. You still collaborate with people on it. You can still build community, whether you're an individual like a streamer or a creator, or whether you're a community, a group, a brand, right? You'll see our check marks at the top of our Discord. We've been a verified brand with Discord. So this is absolutely official NetApp stuff. You absolutely want to get in there, Basil, and make sure you hang out and introduce yourself and say hi to a lot of the other admins. We've got product managers, engineers, support staff, all kinds of people hanging out in there. So make sure you jump in there. All right, Drew, let's get into the weeds a little bit. Is there anything else you want to say as like setup before we get into kind of the weeds of Discord?
Well, I mean, we've built this to work with our customers, our partners, our enthusiasts. It's a community for you. So one of the things you're going to see here in just a second, once we cut over to some screen sharing, like you're not going to see product names everywhere. That's one of the things we've explicitly said we don't really want to do, because product names come and go.
Well, we have a lot of
to
them.
Do that. We've got a lot. Yeah, let's be real. So you're not going to see that, and that's intentional.
Yeah.
But I think that what we've got will work. This V2 is kind of a reimagining of how those things fit together, and so we'll take feedback. That's an option too. We can always make changes. That's part of the beauty of this. Is it's easy enough to change. Maybe we've done something wrong. Who knows? I hope not. But
I hope not. That's the other thing as well. Like, this is an amoeba. It's never finished. Like it constantly evolves and grows and expands and shrinks as the demand changes. So to Drew's point, like, we intentionally try to architect around doing anything specific to any one particular thing, because that thing may go away, that thing may change its name, that thing might get absorbed into another product. We've seen all of those things happen just in the last decade across the NetApp portfolio. Not to mention the fact that there's hundreds. We'd have to have hundreds of channels to support all of the products and services that are at NetApp, not to mention stuff for partners and stuff that we want to do in the future. So yeah, let's get into it, Drew. Where do we start? Where should a user start when they first onboard?
Well, let's go ahead and bring it up. We'll just talk through it. If you could assist me with that there.
What am I doing?
To bring up the Discord screen.
Oh, I'm sharing it? I thought you were going to share it.
You just have to switch our view.
Oh, I have to do that. Yay, there we go.
Thank you, sir.
We're learning. Pilot episode, folks.
So your Discord is going to take you through a couple of steps when you create a new account if you've not been here before. So it's making sure that you know what the rules are and the basics. You've done this before on any number of websites or applications, so that shouldn't be new. But do give the guidelines a read through. There's some items here for support and how to actually contact support. This isn't an official support channel of NetApp, but you're going to get a lot of help. Just know that. Of course, there's social channels and basic rules. Just be nice to people. That's kind of the takeaway, right? We've always got announcements here. So the one that you'll see right off the bat here is announcing the launch of us here, what we're doing right now. So keep up with what's going on in Discord and around NetApp. There's items for like the concierge desk just to chat with us and
if you have any feedback or concerns or questions about how to use the community, that's there for that.
So it's a good spot to go when you want to message staff, so to put it. So live chat, so that's another place. We've got YouTube, we've got Twitch, and in Discord itself. So we're watching that. Nothing's come in yet here. But this is how you join the watch party. You'll see that join activity. I'm not going to click it here. It might be a little disruptive to the stream. We might get the mirror effect going on. But digging on into channels. So there's some posts here. They light up to tell you what's new if you keep up with things regularly. And we've really got this general support. Just when you don't know what you want to ask or can't find something else, pop in here and we'll help guide you. But automation. So look, it's helpful, a little too helpful. I don't want that right now. There's configuring time zones and certs, and there's loads of things here for automation. We've tried to take some of that open source community and put some of that here. And we know that some of the open source products and tools that we've got, like Harvest, for example, we're still massaging where that needs to fit. but there are options. If you ask it, it's going to get answered. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Management, monitoring. I don't need to read these to everybody.
But what are forum channels at the end of the day? Like, what is the difference? Yeah. So in the beginning, there was the text channel, and in the beginning, there was the voice channel. And then we had, last year, they launched stage channels, and this past year, they've launched forum channels. So we've had these different we've got 4 different types of channels now. And so most of the stuff is built around text channels, right? That's really where a lot of this starts. The forums one is the exciting one that we're most excited about because they finally unlocked it in everybody's servers. We've been waiting for months. We were hoping it would be done by Insight, so we could do a lot of this work then. But we understand that we've been waiting the better part of 6 months for forum channels to land, and they finally did. But we've always had to deal with text channels and then threading conversations inside of those in a very old school kind of way. Forum channels brings about this kind of new consolidation of all of those. You can see them all on the screen there. These would typically be individual threads that are now consolidated and can be searched and cataloged and tagged and reacted to and pinned, all of that stuff in a single channel. So it's taking the concept of threading conversations and bringing it together, collapsed into a single channel that can be organized and curated in a much better way.
Yeah, and then one of the things that I think is going to ultimately be incredibly beneficial to the community as a whole is the ability to search before you ask a question. We see a lot of similar questions come in the old school discussion channels because just search wasn't quite as robust as perhaps it could be for those. So now the workflow is to search before you create a post. If you don't find it, go for it, and you can tag it with whichever product or topic is relevant to what you're after.
I want to address one thing real quick in chat. Arthur threw in says it's oh so quiet in PowerShell Toolkit. That's a brand new channel. And if we go down to one of the sections that we added above and beyond the forum channels was one of the things that I'd noticed. Let me back up a step. One of the things that I had noticed is that we had sort of kind of tried to shoehorn in a lot of our coding developer and that type of app builder type work into other things around storage and software products, data management products. And I wanted us to have a special dedicated space, not just for developers, but for infrastructure as code developers, cloud architects, and things like that. So we needed a place we're transitioning to REST and ONTAP. We need a place for the ONTAP API. And we are building and contributing to more open source tools, right? In addition, we wanted to add a place where you guys could come and do code review with each other peer to peer. So if you have an issue where you can't get an Ansible playbook to run, or you've got you need help transitioning a PowerShell module to C# or whatever it might be. That's really where we see this. And lastly, it's kind of near and dear to me. I would love for people to share what they build. This is kind of in the GitHub mentality of like, just put everything out there. But if you built something cool, we want to see it. Like, brag about it. Come share it with us. Share it with the community. Even if it's a simple script or a simple PowerShell module that you pipe together. Like, absolutely, we want to see that kind of stuff. So come and share your stuff with us. Self-promo it in a way. If you have a GitHub link for a repository, we'd love to follow that and keep track of things. We want to do more in the open source community around developers and things like that. So the DevNet area is your area. If anything that I just said resonated with you and you identified with it, the DevNet space is for you. It is net new, Arthur. That is why it is so empty.
That's why it's empty.
It's literally been there since Tuesday, 2 days ago. So, yes, it's going to be a little empty for now, but hey, you could be the first one. Come contribute.
I was going to say, come be the first person to post there. One of the other things, too, Nick, and of course we've got discussion. This is kind of that old school thread type chat, and you'll see those there just the same. But we've said the word community. I hope it's not overused here, but a lot of what we've added is more specific places to just get people talking. There's what did you make for dinner last night? What kind of meal did you make? Show us your barbecue, your brisket, or whatever you've got. Put that in food and talk about it. And then tell us how you worked it off the next day. So in fitness, hobbies, music, you guys can read these things. But
I can't wait to start hiking again. It needs to warm up a little bit more. But here in Vegas, in Red Rocks is in my backyard. If you guys follow me, you've seen some of the hiking pictures over the last year or two. since we've moved to Vegas. I can't wait to get going to that again. I'm definitely going to be throwing some of that in hobbies. We've definitely got some gaming chat happening already. So this is the place where the idea behind this, right, was that we don't want this to be a place where you come, get help, and leave. Like, come be a part of the community. Like, we want to nurture a more interactive community around all of this stuff, not just NetApp Q&A, tech support, help with this. I can't find my disk shelf, robotic kind of stuff, right? We want it to be a more vibrant, lively place than just, a place where you can come get help. You can absolutely come get help, too. And I want to give a shout out to OG1 who pointed this out recently. If you look over to the right, we tag staff members. We verify them and we tag them. There are over 80 staff members, a mixture of support, engineering, and product management, and other TME subject matter expert types from the field, from corporate, everything. They are in there. And I think OG1 called it out as like, what other brand are you going to find that level of access? So that's the word, is access. That's really what Discord is about. You get access to a budding community of NetApp experts, like-minded individuals that are transitioning from data center to cloud or transitioning from an old array to a new one. Like, there's more here than just, I need help with my storage array. So have a look through. Enjoy it.
Any other questions come in while we're here?
Let me see. Arthur threw in, he says, I mostly lose PowerShell for my day-to-day admin. I think I will fail the NCDA exams because I can't remember the official commands. Here's the beauty. So if you look at my YouTube channel, I did a video last year. God, we have to say last year now, about 2022 already.
Just a couple of weeks.
Last year I did a video. It was a 40-minute video of me fumbling through the tab out commands to try and update all the firmware on a FAS 500F, right? It's natural. We all go through that. The beauty is that if you can double tap tab, it'll show you all the options. It's very similar to managing a Linux system in that respect. Question mark, help, all that stuff is there to show you all of the commands. So yeah, definitely check that out. And if you have any questions about it, come ask. But yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. I don't know if you guys can see it behind me, but there's a couple of data center racks with a couple of storage arrays back there. I'm kind of relearning after spending 10 years of doing this stuff, how to do it. So yeah, it's Arthur. Don't worry about passing the NCDAs just yet, but don't worry. It's the tabbed commands are definitely in there for you. Throw a question in. Kristen asked, or says, it's all about the power of networks. We staffers know others we can ask when we don't know the answers. That is an excellent point, Kirsten. The people that are in Discord on a daily basis, active all the time, and we do have worldwide coverage, by the way. There's people in Europe, there's people in Asia Pacific, so we've got, there's people that are on in different times of the day. So don't feel like this is just a U.S. Pacific time kind of thing in Silicon Valley. It's not it at all. There's people all around all the time. But the people that are in there active, if they don't know the answer to something, the good news is we've got the bat phone, right? I can go send a message in Teams or send an email or pick up the phone and call or text somebody and be like, hey, this just got asked in Discord, XYZ, how does this actually work? And within a few minutes, can we respond back with an answer to your question? Boom. Like, it's for certain things that don't require support tickets, like replacement failed parts or array down emergency, critical situations. Like, it's the perfect place to go and get some quick answers after that. Let's see. Oh, you got that one already. Cool. Thank you very much for that point, Kirsten. That's a really excellent point.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One of the things I wanted to point out, you're talking about having the bat phone. So yesterday somebody pointed out a broken link on the support site looking for a support matrix, and that came in the morning. I sent that off to my people, the teams that I work with, and by 5 or 6 hours later, it had been fixed. So you didn't have to open a case. That's kind of the beauty of it. When you're connected to the right people, sometimes you can, I don't want to say it out loud, sometimes you can slip by that. You don't need to do it all the time. And that's convenient for you. It's convenient for us. There's reasons that we want to be here to answer questions in a place like Discord. Yeah.
The other thing I want to, real quick, OG decided to show himself, and he's going to take you to task over your beard. OG, it's worse than you think, because his profile picture is very old. What you don't know is that 2 years ago, he had a beard like mine. A year ago, he had a beard like mine. And he turned traitor on me. He turned traitor on me and shaved it off. Are you just growing it back, or what's the deal there?
It's winter, so just let it grow a little bit.
Oh, man. So I was going to say something else here. Oh, that's right. Those of you that were around for Insight and participated in the sessions for Discord, the inspiration for this show came from the participation in all of you guys showing up for that. And what we realized is that we were doing it backwards. What we should have been doing is live streaming it to YouTube and Twitch, but also watch partying it like we're doing now in Discord, where you can have all of that. And you can still ask the questions, but the VODs are created instantly. We can formalize this. It alleviates some of the tech hurdles of Discord that some people run into. All of that stuff, right? This makes it so much easier. So the plan for the rest of the year is to have a weekly running show. Next week, we're going to have Keith Asen back giving ONTAP 9.12 updates. And he told me that there were some specific things that he did not go over at Insight that he's going to bring to the show.
Is that a teaser?
So you want to make sure you're subscribed and don't miss out on it, because that one, Keith is always a good presenter. So, yep, we need to kill that stuff. 1 second, guys. Spammers.
Yeah. Whoops.
How do you do that?
I was looking at it. Meanwhile, ask more questions to us.
Ask some more questions to us in chat. While I figure that it's nothing that egregious. People trying to sell bots.
Spammers.
So if you guys saw what happened at Insight, that was really the inspiration for this. So weekly shows, put it on your calendar Wednesday, or you can just RSVP in Discord on the events page. That'll give you a notification anytime and a reminder that we're going to be going live Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific.
And yes, I know today is Thursday. That's intentional. Wednesday is the
yes,
the day.
This is more of the pilot launch than anything else.
When you said that earlier, I had to double check. That threw me for a second. So I wanted to call it out specifically in case anybody else had the same kind of thought. Looks like we picked up more audience in Discord too.
We did.
Watching along with us.
Nice.
So, yeah.
What's up, guys in Discord?
Appreciate all that.
Yeah. So, yeah, the idea is to have a presenter every week, right? So we're going to start with Keith next week. We're going to bring Scott Bell back. He's our senior product manager for our hardware side of things. I want to get the storage grid guys in. We've got a whole new cloud portfolio to go over. Andy Crutch from AWS has already said he'll come back. Glenn, I'm sure, will come back to talk about VMware and VMC. So a lot of the presenters that you guys saw, I think we did 17 sessions in 3 days during the week of Insight, which is astounding. Those were exhausting days, if I remember
long
right.
days.
Kirsten, are we taking requests? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes, we are taking requests. Anything that you have a request for, absolutely come tell us in Discord, and we'll get some people in there. Drew, I think it would be awesome if we could have some folks from support come in and talk about the different tiers and levels of support and the benefits of each different tier. Like, there's definitely an open book here. This is really, we can take this wherever we want to go. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities for us to do just about anything we want as far as guests and presentations and all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm excited. I hope you're excited.
So, Pete's onto something. Maybe you'll see some Scott Bell.
Oh, you will definitely be seeing some Scott Bell. He's not going to get away without doing one of these for sure.
I think he knows that too.
He did, for Insight, he did a super deep dive into ADP, Advanced Drive Partitioning. He did a super deep dive. Arguably one of the more popular Insight breakout sessions of the last decade is his ONTAP networking session. And he did that one at Insight. So we're going to have him back. We're going to do that one again at some point. A lot of the recordings that we did for Insight, I either wasn't really happy with, or we had a little bit of audio issues, one mix or the other. So what we're going to do is we've got this format now. We've got NetApp ONAIR. We've got a platform we can present a lot of that stuff. So we're going to have presenters come in. We're going to have people present all of their stuff. And yeah, That's really going to be the format of it at the end of the day. Not only that, but I'm also looking at potentially doing some interviews. So we could have some industry personalities. If you guys follow me on YouTube, you might have seen my interview with Amanda Blevins at, I almost said VMworld again, VMware Explore back at the end of August. That one's been received really well. So I want to do some more stuff like that as well. So not just technical content, but we're also going to do some other things. And we're going to do it right here on the NetApp YouTube channel as well as Twitch. And you guys can all watch along and participate right there in Discord. So, yeah. But we'd love to have you on YouTube or Twitch so you can comment. But there is the live chat channel that you can leave some questions and comments in there. Anything in there, Drew? No?
Looks like it's lit up. What? Nope. Okay.
Somebody might have deleted their post.
Check that later.
Yeah. Questions, comments, feedback, all of that stuff is welcome. We definitely want to bring some of that. Where was that question? Oh, yes, Thomas. Thank you very much. Congrats on the kickoff. We appreciate it. It's the beginning of something because, as I said at the very beginning of the show, I've wanted to have a show like this for these kinds of purposes for a long time running now. It's been something where I haven't really found the right tone or model or something that was inclusive enough that could cover different verticals, right? We certainly got our share of YouTube videos that are presentations and deep dives and things like that. We've got some little 3-minute, 5-minute interview videos and things like that, but we don't really have, much like we didn't really have Discord until about 18 months ago, we don't really have kind of a live chat show like this where the format is open, free form, and two people can get on here and just rap about NetApp stuff. Like, that's really what this show is about. If I had to give it a byline, two people rapping about NetApp stuff. Also, the beauty is it's not limited to two people. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So you might see some larger groups come on here. So members of executive staff might show up for an interview one day. I'm just saying, like
it's limitless.
It is. It's limitless to what we could do with this. Winston asked, is there a preferred platform to watch from that you guys want to push us to? I started in Twitch, flipped over to Discord, and actually for me, I was like watching best from YouTube and also the chat. Personally, I have a preference towards YouTube. I like the platform, but there are certain people that love watching on Twitch. That's totally fine too. I watch Twitch a lot. I spend a lot of time on Twitch. I'll have it on a TV in the background, watching some of my favorite streamers play Warcraft or other talk shows. There's a tech show where, who is it? He's a coder at Netflix.
I don't remember his name. I know who you're talking about. I don't remember the channel though.
If I could, I'm not on my Twitch account right now, but if I could pull it, but he works at Netflix and he writes code, and he's got the craziest keyboards. Like, he types almost sideways, and he's constantly talking, and he's working in NeoVim, and he's got 2 different panels that are just flying. And I'm sitting there just watching, just learning, to go, just mesmerized at this guy jumping around all over the place. So there's definitely one for both. I think for the day-to-day interaction, Wences, the answer is definitely Discord. But I think for consuming the show, it's really a personal preference between YouTube and Twitch.
And we
obviously,
debated that
NetApp,
too.
the channel that we're streaming to, has the bigger audience here on YouTube. We've got over 18,000 subscribers. We'd love to add you to that if you're not subscribed already. But Twitch, definitely we can build up. We'd love to see you guys hang out over there as well. And who knows, maybe we'll have some other fun stuff in the future. So NetApp On Air isn't the only show that's going to be, without revealing too much that I don't have completely planned out for the future, NetApp On Air is the only program that's going to be part of this new year. I'll leave that little carrot dangling out there in front of you. There are ideas to do other things as well. Yeah. More short form content, more interview style. Yeah, what was who said it? The Diz. 2 bros, 1 tech talk. Yes, exactly. Thank you, the Diz. That is exactly what this format's going to be for now, at least. But yeah, I think that at the end of the day, I want this to be kind of a virtual or a video podcast, a vodcast, if you will. Yeah. And I think we eventually take this audio, we strip the audio off, and we throw it up on a podcast feed too. The beauty is that they're all VODs. They live online. You guys can come watch them. They're discoverable. You can see any of this stuff. Well, once we get a few, I'm gonna put it in a playlist and we'll feature it on the homepage of the channel. But yeah. Is this replacing Tech on Tab podcast? Absolutely not. Arthur, fun fact. Did you know it wasn't always called the Tech on Tap podcast?
Yeah,
it used to be. It was called the NetApp
us.
Communities podcast, and
Evolution.
that was much like NetApp On Air. That was started by yours truly. So this is not intended in any way to compete or replace Tech on Tap. Justin is still cranking those out, and he's doing a fantastic job. Definitely go and support Justin and listen to those. Think of this more as a live, interactive video. I don't want to say version of that, but it's similar. Justin's continuing to crank those out and love what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do something that had a little more flexibility, ability to go live, something that we could interact with people in Discord, all of that stuff. And we could use this for other formats and things like that here in StreamYard. So the beauty of it is we've got one place, it's standardized, we can do anything we want with it under the banner of NetApp On Air. Right? Drew, anything else we need to anything else showing up in chat that you've seen?
No, it's just a hello world from Mr. Palick. I assume he's watching there. Yeah, this has been good. I'm excited where we're going with this. It's always good to build community like this, and we saw that. What was it? The stream setup looks amazing. Love the production. Thank you, Charles.
Oh, thank you, Charles.
We put a lot into this, and there will be some adjustments. We're learning. Like this was the kind of the beta run.
Like anything else. Any feedback that you guys might have for us, we definitely want to hear that. Definitely come join in Discord. Drop in the concierge desk. Drop in the live chat channel for NetApp On Air. We definitely have that. But other than that, make sure you RSVP in the events in Discord. Or when I put up the new scheduled streams on YouTube, hit that notify. Because you definitely, pull that up for us real quick, Drew. This is basically what that looks like. So you can see next week, we've already got 50 people RSVP'd all you got to do is click that interested button, and it'll give you a notification whenever the event starts. That way you get a reminder, If you click the three-dot menu as well, you can get a calendar thing that
I forgot it does
you can
that.
throw an ICS file on your calendar. So this is going to be a recurring thing every Wednesday at 10 a.m. So you can just block that in your calendar and put a link to YouTube or Twitch or Discord, whichever you prefer, and RSVP here. But it helps us gauge the numbers and the response and the interest of people so that we know what sort of content you guys like. But yeah. Let's see. Taylor asked, plans for other shows, topical subject matter. There are plans for other shows, but not necessarily live ones. I'll say that. There are currently things in development but then they're not live. Other shows equal other series, not other. Watch that space, as my good friend Glenn Sizemore is prone to say. Yes, there are other things in development in the first quarter here. Just hold on. Tom Hanks, just wait. Hold on. Yes. What I can tell you is we're going to do some. The one I'll spoil is we're going to do Taylor, your AWS. I'm very inspired by the Back to Basics series that AWS does. I wanted to do something similar based on some of the work that I did last year in my own kind of journey and discovery of here's a NetApp system, take it out of the box. Okay, now what do I do with it? How do I cable it up? How do I put the disks in it? How do I attach a storage shelf or disk shelf? How do I configure ONTAP? All of those things are sort of ONTAP 101 fundamentals that we don't really have any content out there for. So we're going to do something similar to the Back to Basics series that AWS does. It may be here on StreamYard. In certain instances, it may be just a produced VOD video that goes up onto YouTube. So stay tuned. That's the one that I can tell you is very much in the works.
There's another question I'll bring up here.
Oh, yeah. Winston asks, sausage making. You going to talk a bit about the sausage on how you were doing this? Any things or tools or changes from last year with regards to the stream or Discord? Winston?
Yeah,
I got to ask you a question, man.
There.
So I'm guessing he's talking about the stream.
That's my guess. Let's go with that.
So the stream. This one, so this is StreamYard.com. We basically toiled over layouts and graphics and colors and branding and the logo in the top right. we spent way too much time on that logo bug that's in the top right, but we needed a way that we could brand the show. And that would be something that would be recurring and consistent to give it an identity, right? And that's the logo that we ultimately came up with. Literally up until last night, we were still making changes on that. Something wasn't sitting right. Something was unsettled. I definitely just kept iterating on it, kept changing sliders around and moving things around, and finally landed on. And I'm really happy with that.
How many different ones did you send me last night? Like 15 or 20?
There are, if I look at the ones I saved, there's at least 11.
Yeah.
And that doesn't count the ones that we just trashed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is all StreamYard.com. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but what it does is it gives us a standardized view for any type of presentation that we want to do. And we can take all of this and it records. We can do local recordings. We can do live streams to any platform. If I wanted to turn something on and live stream to LinkedIn, we can. Absolutely. In fact, we may start doing that in the future. I just don't think LinkedIn is a live stream destination, contrary to popular belief. If you ask anyone in marketing, I don't think anybody's sitting there thumb scrolling through and watching a live stream on LinkedIn. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I'm open to being completely wrong about that, but kind of gut feeling that I certainly don't use LinkedIn to watch live streams. I do know they did. I've seen Enrico using the audio event, kind of like Twitter Spaces. That LinkedIn's got one of those now too. So I don't believe that. I want to build a beachhead. That's the other thing. That's the other part of this is the reason we're sort of centering this around Discord and around YouTube is that I do believe that Discord will ultimately end up being sort of the hub of our wheel when it comes to this real-time community kind of stuff, and everything else will sort of be spokes of engagement in various aspects. So that's why Discord, to get to the long vision, Discord is definitely the destination, the bottom of the funnel, the things that we would really like to have people in. If they show up for the live streams, fantastic. The win is if we get you engaged and participating in Discord. And that's really what I look at that as. Whether it's YouTube or Twitch or LinkedIn or however else, if we get you active in the community, that's really what we were looking at. Wences, thank you very much. Love Discord as the hub. Kirsten threw one in. She says, I think as a starting point, I'm here because I saw your post, but it's not a platform. What's not a platform? Everything's called a platform these days, and it's hard not to just use that word as a default.
Get on the train.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, definitely hop into Discord, guys. Discord.gg/NetApp or NetAppDiscord.com is a redirect page that'll take you there. It gives you an overview of what it is and kind of eases you into it, right? Or if you just want to jump right in, you can just jump right in. She was clarifying LinkedIn's not a video platform. I agree. 100%. If anything, it's closer to TikTok than YouTube, right? There's reasons that people aren't posting long-form video content on LinkedIn. It's because it's very thumb scrolly. I would argue 90% of users use it on their phones, and I don't typically watch that kind of stuff on LinkedIn myself, right? So, let's see. Winston said he loves the streams on YouTube. Yeah, any other questions about the layout for Discord while we've got Drew here? I definitely want to cover some of those. And if there's anything come up about Discord, any questions about forums channels or what should go where? Drew, can we pull that back up real quick? Let's share that screen again. I want to go back into the forums channels a little bit because we made a slight tweak yesterday that I want people to understand why. So originally we had called management, manageability, and monitoring as observability. And the intention there was to use some industry accepted terms. The problem with that, with being at a vendor, is you can kind of have blinders on sometimes.
A little too close.
You're a little too close to the industry speak and not close enough to the ground of what users are actually saying. So we just renamed those to management and monitoring to simplify it a little bit and not have 6-syllable words in there that were mouthfuls to say. We're still tweaking. Go ahead.
That's a big part of it. 6-syllable words is no.
Yeah. So we also wanted to avoid. There's a little bit of a narrative here we need to tell as well. This past summer, we consolidated. We worked with the team over at the pub. Shout out to Chuck and Tim and Bala. all of those guys, like to bring the pub into Discord as a consolidation effort, revitalize that community a little bit, and introduce other people. I looked at it as a win-win. We were introducing more people to the pub that may not have known about it before. So who was that Arthur asked the question, what's the difference between the pub and the DevNet section? Bear with me for just a second, Arthur. I think it'll make sense in a second. Excuse me. So the pub was brought in, and we didn't want to rip the whole Band-Aid off, so we wanted to make the channel structure similar to what was in the Slack workspace originally. And when we were going through this sort of revamp, we recognized that they had a lot of channels that were specific to individual products. There was the Ansible channel, right? There was the Astra channel, Terraform, OpenStack, Harvest, right? So we tried to really take I don't want to say anonymize, genericize, make it a little bit more of a generic category that individual posts could go in, like Drew is doing right now for in automation. You can have multiple posts for the different products in the same channel. This makes it more searchable, more indexed, and when you're searching for something, you're searching for it in one channel instead of across the entire server. So you'll see the list of tags across the top, and as we get more and more in there, again, this was just put live 2 days ago, so forgive us if there's not a lot of content in there yet. There will be as people find their way around. But I expect this to be the most popular of sections of the whole Discord server within the next 3 months. Like this is going to be full of posts that typically would be threads. So Arthur, to go back to your question, what's the difference? The pub is as a category, as a space, is being archived, meaning it's not being killed, it's being marked read-only and archived into our channel archive at the bottom so that all of the conversations are still indexed and searchable and people can still find that stuff. But we would like to transition the conversations that are typically Q&A threaded help conversations into the forum channels. And I think we've still got a little bit more work to do around the naming conventions of the forum channels to really clarify what that is. Maybe we need to add a couple more. Maybe we need to thin it out a little more. I don't know what the right answer is there, but we're going to continue tweaking to find the right balance of what that's going to be. So the pub is being archived out. We're leaving it there for a period of time until we just archive it fully and things are transitioned. Once everybody has time to sort of dip their toes in the water of the forum channels and figure out how to use those the right way.
Yeah, the pub exists for read-only. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to address another question.
We don't delete anything. All of the channels get archived, and they're always indexable, and they're always searchable, right? All that even the event live chats, we leave those there.
Yeah, we've got stuff from 2021 in here. It's all there to search.
Yeah.
I wanted to address the question from OG.
Oh.
When do I use the forums channels versus just a regular help and support channel? So
great question.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
It's a good one. So
lobbed up the softball. Dink. Go for it, Drew.
So when a lot of these questions that have come in have been manually threaded anyway, just so that we're not distracting from the main channel. That way you can stay on topic. So the reason to use the forum channels is exactly that, to automatically thread those and keep up with it, just to be a lot more easy on the eyes and clear. It's saving all the mods work. It's saving you work, having to go and manually thread these conversations and kind of keep them together. Because it's a forums channel, these are threads or topics, just like you've seen on old school message boards, or I know you're familiar with the NetApp community. It's meant to operate in that kind of way so that there's some consistency and content can stick together. So I think that is going to take a little while to stick. We've seen it work really well in some of the other very, very large Discords that we're following and really inspired by, and just trying to really mimic some of their success and hope that we can ride on the same kind of things that work for them.
Yeah, I think that I want to call attention to several other communities. You mentioned something there. So if you think we have a large community, we are a drop in the bucket. Here's one. The OpenAI community. ChatGPT has taken the world by storm. Do you know where they all do all their support? Discord. And they have 1.4 million users and members of that Discord.
I've never seen.
There was
one
another
that big.
one that has 8 million, and I can't remember where I saw that one. I think Jason sent me that one. Where was it? Oh, it was the Midjourney one that's been around longer. Midjourney that uses AI to take prompts and create digital art. 8.2 million members.
That's insane.
So Discord, and that's just total. 650,000 online. Right? Their React to Flux has a massive community. They've been around forever. What's surprising to me is that more people aren't taking advantage of this. I feel like we're very early to the game in the enterprise tech space. VMware, Dell, Amazon, like nobody's taking advantage of Discord to build communities around. And part of me understands that. It's not part of their IP. Like from a corporate perspective, I get it. But at the same time, it's where people are hanging out. It's where people are used to. Like the amount of people that are joining, from an analytical standpoint, Drew, you and I can see that at least half the people that are joining the NetApp Discord server have an existing account already.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah. And was it 54% are outside of the U.S.? Like, it's a global presence.
Yeah. So it extends your reach beyond just typical places that you would interact with people. And I think bringing it all together is and giving people a place to hang out with each other. That's really it's that, and the second thing is access. I keep harping on that word. It's access to staff, access to experts, access to peers, knowing that when you go there you're going to find a safe place that's not covered in spam and all of that crazy and memes and all that stuff, but it's a place. We all love a good meme, right? But that's where this is a place where you can come and just talk NetApp. And you're not going to have some competitor roasting you in Twitter comments and stuff like that. Like this is come hang out with us.
If
like,
you see that, report it to us.
If you do see that, yeah. I'm sure there's several of them that are, that are in there. It is public, right? It's open to all. There are no secret spaces. We have a couple of like private threads for mods and things like that, but that's the extent of it. There's no employees only sort of stuff happening here. That's not what this is for. If you're an employee and you're watching this, that's not what this is for. We've got Teams, we've got Slack, we've got 10 other tools that we chat in that are for employees only. That's not this. This is for the peeps. This is for the peoples. We're going to leave it out there like that. Yeah, Kirsten's so important to go where the people are. Absolutely. I'm glad you said that because we've seen that shift over the last decade to people bringing people together to, well, they splintered off into their own groups. And in a way, it's kind of it's a shepherding exercise to bring everybody back together so you can all talk about like-minded stuff. You can all geek out about the same announcements, right? You can all hang out and watch the same keynote together. It's pretty limitless what we can do now with this. So tell a friend, tell 10 friends, they tell 10 friends, and this grows up, and we look up, and we have 10,000 members in here a year from now. Like that's the goal. So I hope that this takes people down, or this has taken people down the rabbit hole of Discord a little bit. Drew, thank you so much for all of your help in getting this up and running. I really appreciate it. And guys, we'll be back next Wednesday at 10 a.m. With Mr. Keith Asen talking about ONTAP 9.12, going over some of the updates. And man, I'm going to hand him the screen and let him present because we got some fun stories to share, me and Mr. Keith Asen. We go back a ways, and I'll save those for next week, so you guys can join us and hear all of the inside goss, the tea.
Yeah,
we'll save the tea for next week. Well, Drew, thanks again, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick.
Let's get out of here, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel here. It means the world to us. I'll have the next one up once I get the graphic made, so you guys can start RSVPing to it. It is already up in Discord, so you can RSVP to it there as well. If you're ever on Twitch, the Diz, I see you. I see you over there. Don't feel like you're alone. But you can also watch us over on Twitch. Make sure you follow us there. You'll get alerts. There was an interesting Insight 2019 go live notification that was still in there that I didn't see because we just don't use Twitch that much. But I'm changing that. We're going to start using Twitch more and more. But yeah, subscribe, follow, do all the things you guys know how to do. But until next time, for Drew Claybrook, I'm Nick Howell. We will see you guys next week with Mr. Keith Asen. Drew, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers.